couple relationship is very emotionally intense. It offers us such a wow, peaks, great peaks of excitement and pleasure. But because of that, it also offers us the potential for such disaster. Good for you for reaching out and looking for information that can help relationships. Make sure you stay to the end of this video where I'll have 2 practical strategies you can use right now to improve your relationship. Hit subscribe and definitely hit the notification bell so you'll get notified when we release a new video to help you continue on your path. So when we're struggling with an argument, we're in personal relationships and we're struggling with how to get along, you could make a rule called one stay low. It requires an agreement in the couple that one person must stay low when the other person is escalating. You know how most people get in an argument, it's escalation. Next thing you know, we're at the incomprehensible discussion stage, or both are in fight or flight, not thinking very clearly. With one stay low, you're making a rule that one person isn't allowed to go there. So it's almost like the emergency response person arriving on the scene. They must stay low. You're laying there and you've had an accident and you're wounded. The last thing you want is the EMT person to arrive frantically. Oh no, what's going on? They would actually cause us to get more anxious and possibly do damage to our health and our recovery. So right off the bat, you require one person to stay low just to calm the other animal. And that's why in a couple relationship, the one stay low technique can work quite well. There do tend to be differences in how we approach conflict and how we escalate. So it might be that one person tends to go high, scoot right up to the yelling, angry zone. The other person is going high as well. A lot of times it looks like they're going silent. Silent treatment, many people say, that's fine. We even grew up thinking that's fine. It actually isn't. Silent treatment is like, no, I'm not talking to you right now. It can be taken a lot of negative ways. So not communicating through the silent treatment can be a screw you, just like yelling and screaming can be a screw you. When we get to those points in time where we're finger pointing, blaming, we've moved into fight or flight and we're not being rational, we're not likely to sort the problem out, and we're also likely to add more wounds. So if there's one person that escalates a bit more, they might require a little bit more biofeedback work, learning how to monitor the body and keeping it in the calm zone. And we do need to retrain the body. Or the person that's used to silent treatment, shutting up, not that I won't talk to you for days. Their body is also programmed and recorded and trained now to respond that way. So that's not a flaw in you guys. That's your conflict style and how you do conflict now. Our job as couples is to help each other improve all of these areas, not just conflict, but also holidays, work, schedules, cleaning around the house, negotiating. All of these things requires tension. And managing the tension, managing the stress levels well, is an art. Something that I hope you'll grow to learn and enjoy as much as Susan and I have grown to learn and enjoy handling our relationship. Sometimes as we grow into a relationship and we mature, we stop conversing, stop asking each other opinions, stop bantering about issues as if we've already discussed them. So talk time is a specific strategy to help redress less functional kind of ways of communicating and helping people listen more and actually share their points. So you're sharing those points from the I want and I feel standpoint. Each person takes 4 minutes. The one person just listens, not even an active listener. No shaking the head, no nonverbal, no feedback to the person at all. The speaker is just giving their I want, I need. Here's what I want, here's what I need on this topic. One topic. And then in 4 minutes, both people switch. Now the listener has 4 minutes to share what they want, what they feel about that situation. And the listener, again, is just taking it in without confirming or denying any of the feedback. That's very tricky to do. We're hardwired almost, and we've learned how to nod and give all this feedback. You're attempting not to influence the other person while they're sharing, but just letting them share. So this is practice at personal self-disclosure, sharing that information, on one specific issue and then switching and listening to your partner or your mate share their personal disclosure, what they want or what they feel is important with respect to the one issue. That might be physical intimacy, it might be parenting, it might be budgeting, it might be holidays, it might be work, it might be domestic chores around the house. All kinds of different topics that are woven through a relationship. We want to learn how to discuss them better. When you want to change that, give talk time a try. 2 people sit down, you can set a timer, 4 minutes each, share the information, get to know each other's position, what you want and feel a little bit better. That's it. No resolution? No resolution required. Building healthy relationships is learning more about each other and being patient enough to know it takes time to resolve differences of opinions on many different levels. Should talk time get too tense, your body gets too tense, or you pick up that your mate is getting too tense, and the deep breathing doesn't seem to be helping, time out. And most of us grew up hearing about time out, thinking it was punishment. But if you think about it like sports, timeout is actually called by the coach, and it's called to actually improve the game. Usually something's not going on, something's not going quite well, and a coach will call the timeout. The very first thing people do during a timeout is they start to breathe, start to get oxygen, start to calm down, and then they're looking to address what is the issue, what's going on right now, what could we do instead, what's the game plan. There are a few rules with this. Whoever calls time out is responsible for calling time in. Maybe they felt they were going to lose it or not behave as well, or the other person might, so they called a timeout. A timeout automatically comes with a time in. Very important that a timeout and a time in go together. You don't go to a sporting event and the coach calls timeout and all the players go to the bench, they go down to the dressing room and they all go home. No, they actually get back on the ice. So it's very important for a timeout. Recognize that it's also setting up the time in. Same thing we do with kids. What could you do instead? What could you do differently? I'll love you forever at the end of a timeout. So a timeout and a time in go together. Whoever calls time out calls time in. It's important to have a timeout code. Sometimes something useful, something funny maybe, something that only you would recognize. You could be at a family function and you start doing this and your mate knows. That's it, the conversation's over. We don't talk about it anymore. So if you think about a timeout process, it's meant to break the tension and to stop us from getting into what I like to call verbal diarrhea, hurting, abusive kind of face and tone with each other. And the person who called time out doesn't have to call time in right away. They might calm down, it might be 15, 20 minutes, and they say, how about tonight? How about tomorrow? So they're using another great strategy called setting a time to talk. Letting people know when you're going to talk is very important as well about more serious issues. And then when you call time in, you're coming at it from a similar perspective to talk time. I want, I feel. Here's what I want, here's what my experience is, here's what I'd like to see happen, I feel this about what just happened. And from a position of ownership, very important for people to own what's happened, own their own face and tone and their own contribution to the tension. At that point then, you can do the high five, or you can do a hug, or you can do what the coach does when he sends the players back out after a timeout. Go get them. I know you can do it. You've got it in you. Thanks. Remember to subscribe. Leave us a comment. Tell us specifically what you'd like some assistance with, and we can send you resources or perhaps even do a video to address that concern. Take care out there.